Alright guys, so this is another easy level array question from LeetCode. Name a single number. Given a non-empty array of integers, every element appears twice, except for one. Find that single one. And here's a note, your algorithm should have a linear runtime complexity. Could you implement it without using extra memory? So I'm going to show you one with a linear runtime complexity and also a ON, space complexity. And then I'm going to show you the one without using extra members. Okay, so I actually prefer the first one, but I mean, the one without using extra members, of course, it's going to be much better. So the first solution is I'm going to be using a hash map, and by using a hash map, it's like finding and removing in a hash map is just a one-time complexity. So doing a for loop of on would be enough to go through all the numbers and see if that number is a duplicate or not. So first, you have to construct a hash map. Map equals hash map int, and then like that. So within that hash map, I'm first going to construct the hash map. So the hash map is going to have the keys. The key number for the hash maps are going to be the numbers in the array, and then the value for the keys are going to be how many times the key has been shown in the array. So how would you do that? You would first have to iterate through the array. So for element in nums. Element in nums. Map element. So within that key, you are going to add the numbers. You're going to be counting the numbers of how many of that element has been shown. So map.get or default element 0 plus 1. So this is basically saying for the key, for the value with the key element, you get the value of that key, or just put 0 for that key and then add 1. So if it's a new key that's introduced, it's just going to be 1. But if it's not a new key, it's going to be 2. So that way you can differentiate which key has duplicates and which key does not. So after constructing the hash map, you're going to iterate again through the numbers. And then what you're going to do is if map element equals 1. So if the number has been shown just once, then you're going to return that number. And actually, you don't have to put this in, but then, I mean, you do have to put this in because you want to make this function work. But within our restrictions, we really don't have to have this, but we're just going to have the return 0 because it's a non-empty array, and it says that every element appears twice except for 1. So, but we're going to put that it's just returning 0, and then if you submit, and you're accepted. So You just build a hash map, so that's an extra space. That's gonna make it ON. And you have two for loops. That's O2N, but it's the same as ON. And this get or default, you're finding you're putting and finding the element in a hash map, which is basically O1. So in the end, the time complexity is going to be ON. And as I told you, I'm going to show you the one without using any extra memory. And that's actually by using bit manipulation. So I have to, I would have to explain you about a characteristic of a bit manipulation. So we're going to use XOR. And the thing is that if you XOR 0 with some number, or some number with a 0, the result is going to be that number. But if you XOR a certain number with the same number, the answer is going to be 0. And XOR also has an associative characteristic. So if, say, it's A XOR B and then XOR A, you can just put that XOR A over here and switch it with XOR B. So it's going to be A XOR B. As you can see, A XOR A is 0. So it's going to be 0 XOR B, which is equal to B. So just think about it, because we're going to have like all the numbers that appear twice except for one. So if certain numbers are a duplicate, they're all going to be 0. And then there's going to be just one number that's left that is not 0. So it's going to end up with this kind of result. So the remaining number would be the number that is not a duplicate. Okay, just keep that in mind, and we'll see how it goes. So make a number, make some variable A, and have it 0. So also we're going to iterate through all the numbers, element in nums. And what you are going to do is you are going to be XORing through the elements. And then that's going to be, that number is going to be put into A. So what the result would bring is the remaining number that is not a duplicate. So return A. And then if you submit, you can see it's accepted. We did not use any extra space, and it's just one for loop, which is ON. So this is basically a much more faster way of solving this. I prefer the other one because it's more intuitive for me, but yeah, this is something that is kind of good to know. And that's about it. Thank you guys.